Well, summer's almost here. That means it's the season for road trips, and plenty of us will be driving out of state. Unfortunately, accidents are possible no matter where you drive. In this week's Know the Law segment, attorney Tom Sinas here to talk about out-of-state accidents and how Michigan's no-fault insurance works in those cases once you're across the border.
Right, it's so confusing because we're so used to talking about Michigan no-fault insurance that you wonder sometimes, well, what happens if I'm outside the state of Michigan? Do I have no-fault insurance benefits? Well, first of all, ask yourself, where did the accident happen? You only get no-fault insurance benefits if the accident happens in the United States, its territories, or Canada. So if you're driving to Mexico this summer, you won't get no-fault benefits if the accident happens there. On the other hand, if you're going to Canada, you will, or if you were driving a car in Puerto Rico, for example, you would get no-fault benefits geographically. Okay, how do you claim no-fault benefits? Well, if you are a policyholder of a Michigan no-fault insurance policy and you are injured in an accident out of state, but in the U.S. or Canada or its territories, you will get no-fault benefits from your own insurance company, just like you would if you were injured in the state of Michigan.
It's automatic.
It's automatic. The same can be true if you are in a car and that car is insured with a Michigan no-fault policy. Even if you don't have your own coverage, if the car has an auto no-fault policy on it, you can draw benefits that way. So there's two very common scenarios where most people who are injured out of state, particularly if they have their own automobile no-fault insurance coverage in Michigan, they will be able to get benefits just like they would if they were injured here.
Let's talk about that third line, the live-in relative, how that is affected by this.
Well, the same is true if one of your relatives has an auto no-fault insurance policy and you live with them. So the classic example would be your wife. If your wife has an auto no-fault insurance policy and you are injured out of state in an automobile accident, you draw your no-fault benefits from your wife's Michigan auto no-fault insurance policy.
Gotcha.
So what does that mean? Well, it means that you're going to get those medical expenses that we've talked about many times before, those 3 years of lost wages, the household chores. Those are all going to be payable by the no-fault insurer just like it would an in-state accident. But don't be confused if you're going out of state this summer and you're renting a car, for example.
Okay.
The rental car, the same rules will apply for no-fault benefits in the rental car. But remember, our no-fault insurance system only has a limited amount of coverage for damage to vehicles.
Okay.
Typically, when we're talking about no-fault benefits, we're talking about injuries to people.
Yeah.
What about damages to another vehicle? Well, there you need to check your insurance policy and see, does the vehicle damage that you've purchased, would that apply to a rental car?
Always good to just kind of call your insurance agent and make sure you're covered beforehand, because you don't want to get there and have them sell you a bunch of insurance at the airport that you really don't need.
That's right, and that happens so often to Michiganders who are in other states. We buy coverage that we really don't need. So yeah, make the phone call. But if you are involved in an accident out of state, there are some peculiar rules that can come up down the road.
Right.
So don't just think that you've answered all the questions. It's a good idea to talk to a specialist if something does happen to you, heaven forbid, when you're out of state.
And if somebody wants to talk about that with an attorney, they can call your office.
Sure, anytime. They can call us at 616-301-3333. You can find us online at sinasdramis.com or shoot us an email at info@sinasdramis.com.
All right, you going on vacation?
I am, but I'm staying in the great state of Michigan.
All right, well, take care.
Thanks, Christian.